All stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court now draw nigh. Give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Justice, I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed a judge of this court. I present my commission to you.
Thank you, Justice Sweeney. Principal Registrar, I hand to you the commission and ask that you read it. Please be seated.
By Her Excellency, the Honourable Margaret Beasley, Companion of the Order of Australia, King's Counsel, Governor of the State of New South Wales in the Commonwealth of Australia. To Her Honour Judge Deborah Ann Sweeney, a Judge of the District Court of New South Wales. Greeting. Whereas by the Supreme Court Act 1970, it is enacted that the Governor may, by commission under the public seal of the state, appoint any qualified person to be a Judge of the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Now I, the Honourable Margaret Beasley, ACKC, the Governor aforesaid, in pursuance of the power and authority vested in me in that behalf, do, with the advice of the Executive Council of New South Wales, hereby appoint you, the said Deborah Ann Sweeney, being a person qualified to be so appointed, to be a judge of the said court on and from the 8th day of February 2023, with rank and precedence as such in the said court and in the aforesaid state, next after the Honourable Justice Richard Howard Weinstein, one of the judges thereof. Provided always that you shall, except in case of leave of absence duly granted to you, actually execute the office to which you are by this commission appointed. Given under my hand and the public seal of the said state this 7th day of December 2022, Margaret Beasley, Governor, and by Her Excellency's command, Mark Speakman, Attorney General.
Thank you. Principal Registrar, do you have the form containing the affirmations? Justice Sweeney, I now ask you to rise to take the affirmations of office, first the affirmation of allegiance and then the judicial affirmation.
I, Deborah Ann Sweeney, do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to law. I, Deborah Ann Sweeney, do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lord King Charles III in the office of Judge of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of the State of New South Wales, without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
Thank you, Justice Sweeney. I now invite you to resume your seat and to subscribe the affirmations, after which I will attest them. Principal Registrar, I hand to you the affirmations to be placed amongst the court's archives. Justice Sweeney, on my own behalf and on behalf of our colleagues, I congratulate you on your appointment. I welcome you to the court. You bring huge experience and wisdom born of that experience as a judicial officer, and I have no doubt that that and your reputation for the highest integrity and diligence will stand you well in serving this court and the people of New South Wales. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Justice.
Mr. Attorney.
May it please the court. I begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Gadigal of the Eora Nation. Pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders joining us today. Your Honour, Justice Sweeney, on behalf of the state and the bar, it's my great pleasure to congratulate you on your appointment as a Justice of this court. Joining us here today are Your Honour's sister Claire, your brother Andrew and their families. Your brother Peter is watching online. In London, we have your stepdaughter Isabella Sorby. Unfortunately, there are a few people that can't be here today. Your parents, Norman and Norma, will be sadly missed, as will your late husband, His Honour Judge Robert Sorby. Your Honour was born in 1959 to Norman, an accounts clerk at Tooheys Brewery, and Norma, a homemaker who, in later life, helped establish and run a local women's refuge. You're the oldest of 4 siblings. You grew up in Newcastle, where you played tennis, rescued stray kittens, and was constantly listening to the radio. You attended local high schools, St Mary's and St Anne's. During these years, you developed a huge love of reading, with one of your favourites being Jane Austen's Emma. After school, you attended the University of New South Wales, where you studied arts and law. You excelled at university and left ready to forge a career in the profession you love. And Your Honour, what a career it's been so far. It began in 1984 with the Office of the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions. You were initially a solicitor in public prosecutions, then the principal lawyer and solicitor to the Independent Commission Against Corruption. Your Honour then served as the Director of the Investigation Division of the New South Wales Crime Commission. In 1995, you joined the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for New South Wales, where you served as a Deputy Solicitor. While at the ODPP, you were a much-loved mentor to junior lawyers. You were put in charge of what was called the nursery, where baby lawyers received specifically developed legal training and support. You were described as a hard taskmaster. Everyone who passed through this program found it challenging, but all agree that your pastoral care and encouragement helped them become the legal professionals they are today. Overall, your work as a solicitor has been described as quietly efficient. Your passion for the law was clear to all, and you gained a reputation for being extremely dedicated. During this period, you authored several publications, including the first edition of Commonwealth Criminal Law with Neil Williams SC in 1990. Williams SC remembers you as a highly productive collaborator who always delivered work to schedule and always of the highest quality. He adds, and I quote, "Those attributes, together with her even temperament, will serve her well in her time as a Supreme Court judge." In 1996, you were appointed as a magistrate. In your 10 years in the role, you were a much-loved colleague, mentor and friend. As with your previous work, you demonstrated your outstanding judicial qualities to all who interacted with you. So much so that colleagues nicknamed you Portia, after Shakespeare's finest female legal advocate. Your time at the local court gave you the opportunity to preside over some complex and challenging cases. They included judgments involving colourful personalities of the eastern suburbs social scene and the odd misbehaving sports star. Parties left your court satisfied that your measured judicial style provided fairness and equality. Your Honour was sworn in as a judge of the District Court in 2006. At the time, now Justice Michael Slattery, in his then role as President of the Bar Association, said that your appointment would enhance the bench. In hindsight, 17 years later, that was clearly an understatement. On the District Court, you've overseen some complex and challenging cases. These include a troubling case of a 12-year-old child bride that resulted in her father being found guilty of procuring a child for unlawful sexual activity, a former lawyer jailed for fraud, and a carer being found guilty of manslaughter due to her negligent care of her ex-husband. Your Honour, it's clear that you've had a remarkable legal career. Your passion for the law and the legal profession is clear. What's also clear is that you've had the same passion for life. Your insatiable appetite for reading from an early age continues today. You have a love of philosophy. You've read many of the books that people lie about reading, like James Joyce's Ulysses, and more impressively, Your Honour understands them. You love to travel. You've spent much time exploring parts of Australia and abroad. Your favourite destinations include New York, Italy, and France. Provincial France holds a special place in your heart. It's here where your late husband Robert Sorby and you bought a house, and to where you often travelled to visit. It was one of Bob's favourite places in the world, and his Herald obituary noted that while he never mastered French, he did charm the villagers in his own unique way. You met Bob at the District Court and became a couple in 2011. You were married de facto from 2013. He sadly died after a long illness in 2020. This would be a very proud day for him. Music is still a huge passion, as are theatre and ballet. Your Honour is also a hugely talented photographer whose work has been exhibited. Your stunning black and white photographs have been described by you as capturing found moments and the ephemera of life. But ephemera is not a word that can be used in association with your career. From 1996, the local court and then later the District Court have benefited from your knowledge, skills and dedication. It's been equally challenging and fulfilling. You've excelled. Always present has been your extraordinary intuition about human nature. The Supreme Court will undoubtedly be rewarded by this elevation. Your colleagues believe it's a role you'll discharge with great distinction. Your Honour, my warmest congratulations and best wishes for your career on the Supreme Court bench. May it please the Court.
Ms Banks, the President of the Law Society of New South Wales.
May it please the Court, I too acknowledge the Gadigal of the Eora Nation, the traditional owners of the land on which this Court stands, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and their youth emerging. I come before the Court on behalf of the solicitors of our state to offer congratulations and wish Your Honour well in the appointment to the Supreme Court. Your Honour studied at St Mary's Catholic College in Gateshead, where your teacher, Mrs Crawford, luckily suggested you should study law. Mrs Crawford has done the state of New South Wales a great service with her suggestion. Your Honour enrolled in an arts law degree at the University of New South Wales, and you were admitted to practice in 1984. While you studied, you volunteered at the Redfern Legal Centre with a host of future legal stars, including former Justice Virginia Bell and Her Honour Judge Nanette Williams. You weren't particularly interested in being a prosecutor, but you needed a paying job. When you were offered a role with the newly established Commonwealth DPP, your fellow volunteers urged you to take it. You're one of the first CDPP lawyers, and in 1989, when Director Ian Temby, AOKC, went to head the newly established ICAC in New South Wales, you went with him and worked there for 4 years. You established a pattern of firsts in your career, so it stands to reason that you would then take a role with the newly formed New South Wales Crime Commission. 2 years later, you would break from tradition and take a senior role with the New South Wales DPP, which by that stage had been operating for 6 years. As we have heard, in 1996, Your Honour was appointed to the local court. This was an acknowledgement of your experience and legal acumen. Your increased experience and skills were endorsed by your appointment to the District Court in 2006. A combined period of 26 years has provided you with a rare and remarkable work experience. You have seen the full spectrum of counsel, government lawyers, complainants and defendants, as well as the capacities and flexibilities of the criminal mind. You have heard some extraordinary criminal matters. You've had your decisions upheld in the higher court, and you've had the pleasure of seeing staff progress under your leadership. One of your associates has since gone to the bar, and you had the satisfaction of hearing his first jury trial and seeing what a great barrister he has become. In an ideal world, we could hope there is nothing new for you to see in the Supreme Court, but we all know that is not true. We can, however, take comfort in the knowledge that with your abundant experience and knowledge, you'll be able to manage whatever the accused, their counsel, and indeed opponents have in store for you. Your Honour is the first woman in New South Wales to have sat in all 3 New South Wales courts. This in itself is an extraordinary achievement, but it stands alongside your litany of achievements in the New South Wales criminal justice system. Outside of the court, Your Honour is known as a learned, elegant, refined, and highly respected person. When gentle inquiries were made of your judicial colleagues, one quipped that if we wanted quirky stories, we'd have to make them up, for there are no skeletons in your closet. Your fellow judges of the District Court did speak in glowing terms and uniformly of your high level of competency, your erudite and informed interests in the arts, and your dignified persona. You read widely, enjoy many styles and schools of art, and are a devoted attendee of theatre. When you're at home, you enjoy the codependency and good company of the delightful Carmi, a rescue cat, like all accomplished felines, spends her time working out new ways to push your buttons. You are described as a person with a great sense of humour, a hard worker, and a colleague who will provide excellent advice if required. Your Honour's impeccable style is also noted. Clothes maketh the woman, perhaps, but I can say with certainty that the woman maketh the career. And you have fulfilled your potential through hard work, grace, and more hard work. Your former boss, Ian Temby, AOKC, has described you as a gifted young lawyer with a busy practice who could be trusted with complex and sensitive matters. Mr. Temby remembers you as a person of great legal skill and stated that no one who worked with you would be surprised that you have been appointed to the Supreme Court. Your appointment today brings great joy to your family, your sister Claire and her partner Rob, and their children Daniel and Luke, and your brother Andrew, his partner Naomi, and their son Jacob. As we have heard, you remain close to your late husband's children, Isabella Sorby, tuning in from London, and Lachlan. Everyone here today knows that your late husband, the formidable retired Judge Robert Sorby, will be the proudest of all. Your Honour, you have blazed a remarkable path through the criminal justice system, and in doing so have led the way for other lawyers. Your 3rd judicial appointment is a wonderful achievement. On behalf of the Solicitors of New South Wales, I offer you our thanks for your inspiring career and your service, and our best wishes in your career in the Supreme Court. The Court pleases.
Ms. Banks. Justice Sorby.
Chief Justice, Mr. Attorney, judicial colleagues, Ms. Banks, members of the profession, friends and family. I also acknowledge that the land on which this ceremony is occurring today always was and always will be Aboriginal land, and I pay my respects to the elders of the Gadigal people. I was privileged late last year as one of the last tasks I performed in the District Court to sit with elders in the Wallumer list, to learn from their wisdom as they conversed with participants in the program. It was a powerful, positive experience for me. It's a powerful, positive way to sentence people, and I'm grateful to everyone who made it possible for me to have that experience, many of whom are here in this room today. Mr. Attorney and Ms. Banks, thank you for your time in being here, and thank you for your kind words, although Ms. Banks, I did fear that I'd be outed as a crazy cat lady on a distinguished occasion, and that has happened. 38 years of a legal career and you're outed as a crazy cat lady. Mr. Attorney, thank you for appointing me to this court. I do owe a debt of gratitude to my teacher, Mrs. Crawford, because my family background was not such that it would have seemed likely I would end up here, but she put me on the first path to a career which has been enjoyable, interesting, has led me to work with some amazing people, has given me a life full of rich experiences, and has brought me here to be on this bench with people whom I have known and admired throughout my career. It is a great honour and a thrill to be here. Chief Justice, thank you for your warm and generous welcome. Justice Beach-Jones, Chief Judge at Common Law, thank you for your warm and generous welcome. Thank you to the judges of the court who've been overwhelmingly friendly, helpful and collegiate. It's been great to come into such a warm environment. Justice Slattery spoke on behalf of the bar at both my previous swearing-in ceremonies, so I'm thrilled to be joining him here on the bench today. I also want to thank Justice Price, Chief Judge of the District Court, for your friendship and support throughout my judicial career as Chief Magistrate and Chief Judge at different times. I also want to thank Justice Reg Blanche, who was the Chief Judge of the District Court when I was appointed there, and I thank him for giving me that opportunity. I'll miss my friends and colleagues in the District Court, many of whom are here today, and thank you for taking time out of your busy lists to be here. Some could not be here in person today because they're on circuit. Judge Penny Hock and Judge Leonie Flannery, my long-time sisters in the District Court. Good morning. I hope you haven't gone into court yet, and I'll miss you. I thank my associates who've assisted me in the District Court over the years, some of whom are here. The indispensable Ree Roffey, the lawyer Leslie Ford, Leah Hewish, a young Anglophile who left me to go to London and has come back to Sydney and forged her career in a London firm, and Georgia Kennedy is in Melbourne making her career there. Thanks to Ree for coming with me. Thanks to her family for letting her come to work every day with me. Thanks to Cyrus for joining the team. Thanks to all the staff in the District Court who've kept me in line and well occupied over the years. Rob Finito, who's known to everyone. Jenny Garvey and Betty Cosmos, who've looked after me. The much missed retired Kevin Breen, and the registry staff, Peter, Jackie and their colleagues, who keep the place running behind the scenes. Thanks to the executives of this court and their people, and to Edwina Chapman, the Chief Justice's associate, who've helped with my transition here and this ceremony. Thanks to all the members of the bar who are here today. I recognise some familiar faces, some of whom have appeared before me over the years, and it's been a great experience to have those people in my court. Some of them I remember back from the days when I was a magistrate at Burke, and they were at the Aboriginal Legal Service out there, and now they're senior counsel. And the solicitors, including Miss Sanders, a hero of the profession who runs the Young Persons Legal Service. Thanks to Una Doyle, Perrette Mitzi and the other staff of the Judicial Commission who've kept me up to date with the law throughout my career. To my friends and family, thank you for being here to share this occasion with me, and I'm glad you got here on time eventually. Love you all. Thank you for your love and support over the years. My siblings have all taken different paths in the community, and they've made a great contribution in the work they've chosen, but probably most in bringing up my wonderful nephews and niece, who are all wonderful young people who do amazing things that I don't understand. I'm sad that Bob Sorby and my mother did not live to see this day. In fact, my mother did not live to see any of my career. She died when I was 21, but I think she would have been proud. Bob wished this for me, and he would be pleased and proud. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Chief Justice.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned.